Warning: the content you're about to receive is for the sole purpose of exposing fake trainers, doctors, nutritionists, life coaches, and wellness gurus, in addition to educate them and provide you with accurate information.
Come on!
36 years ago, I became a personal trainer. My objective back then, as it is today, was to get my clients in the best shape of their lives. But in order to do that, I had to know everything about the 3 training components that were responsible for changing the body in the most efficient way. Therein lies the problem. You see, most personal trainers are absolutely incoherent about the 3 training components, and they're dead wrong in the way they train their clients. It's a real issue in the industry. So my mission today is to expose fake trainers and to inform consumers, to talk straight and to provide accurate information. What you're about to see in the upcoming video, I'm telling you, will produce profound results. I urge you to check it out. You will not be sorry. You know, you were talking about that time that you went to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. And somebody had, or on Twitter.
They put a video up of the food that I was consuming that day, and it was gross.
Yeah, and that the thing that reminds me about that is, if you know what you don't know won't hurt you. It's kind of a true statement, because I was watching this I don't know, it was on 60 Minutes about Heinz ketchup and the process behind that. And I love ketchup back in those days. And so they're showing this process. You know, when you go out and go out in the fields, when you harvest tomatoes, you're not just getting tomato. You're getting branches. You're getting little animals. One of those little animals are froggies. So what happens is, the process of that is they stick all these branches and tomatoes into this like a conveyor belt. It has screens, so it's coming through and it's chopping everything up. Well, you know, tomatoes, froggy guts, you know,
Spiders.
crap, you know, their feces. It's all being ground up into little fine, and it gets to go through. So the point is this: your body can tolerate. It has an immune system, and it can tolerate that. That's the reason why the FDA allows, you know, so much of certain things that you would think would be harmful into food, because of that very reason. Your body has an immune system that can tolerate that. So the real issue and the problem, that even though that's gross, I mean, it took me a long time after I saw that documentary or that interview to eat ketchup again. Fortunately, I have a short memory. But the point of that is that your body can tolerate a lot of stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. So, you know, I mean, if you smoked, or if you ate froggy guts, or whatever the case may be, as long as it's not chronic to the point where it oversaturates the metabolism, you're going to be fine. I mean, it's no different than training. You know, it's just like, and that's how your body responds to training. It's a part of your autonomic nervous system. So when you're training with weights, if you train too hard for too long a period of time, your body may shut down. It's just because it's overtrained. So it's really no different. It's pretty simple. And, you know, so it kind of cracks me up when, you know, for example, especially like in the health and fitness industry, where, you know, these trendy things come along. This guy, like this V-Shreds guy, I mean, this came along and it's like this body typing. And what's bullshit? Because if you understand, for example, he's saying that with body typing, you should train a certain way or you should eat a certain way. And if you understand physiology, you know that when you eat food, it breaks down into a unit. Food breaks down, if you take a look at what the definition of a calorie is a unit of heat that produces energy for the body. So in other words, food does the same thing. It doesn't matter what food that you're eating, it's the same process inside your body. Your body takes it, breaks it down into heat, and it disperses it as energy into your body. So with that being said, all calories are equal in that way. Now, the way that you can make that calorie or that energy in your body more effective is really understanding how to manipulate macros. The macros is protein, carbs, and fat. Now, if you know how to manipulate the fat in your body from the food that you eat, and that energy, because it's different energy that way, but it's still energy, then you can actually manipulate and create a different response to the body by just simply using your macros. Otherwise, it's a lot of this stuff that's coming on the market these days. Like with these diets, I think I have so many diets in the market. It's like, what the hell? Which diet should you go on? And the truth of the matter is that your body only has two metabolisms. It has a glucose metabolism, which is sugar, and it has a free fatty acid metabolism, which is fat. So when you're in a fat metabolism, your body, the only difference between those two metabolisms is that your body in the fat metabolism uses that fat as its first source of energy, where when you're in a glucose metabolism, your body is using sugar as its main source of energy. So the only distinction between those two metabolisms is carbohydrate intake, and that's it. I mean, so even though you have all these different diets that are on the market, you have to ask yourself, okay, is it a glucose diet or is it a free fatty acid diet? That is the only thing that makes that different, because of the way how your body works. Your body can't effectively burn sugar and fat at the same time. It will, but not effectively or efficiently. So if you take a look at a diet, and that diet, you're eating in your diet 30 grams of carbs or less a day, well, then your body's going to flip its metabolism. In other words, it's going to shut down. You have two different ports that come into the body. Just, I'm putting it in layman terms, two different ports. When you eat less than 30 grams of carbs per day, your sugar port, if you will, closes down. Only one port can be open, not two. So when that happens, then your body, in this case, 30 grams of carbs or less, your body is now burning fat as its main source of energy. And then if it's above 30 grams, your body is now burning sugar. And that's all this thing comes down to. But yet you look, if you are, this is why the unsuspecting consumer is at such a big disadvantage, because you got all these choices out there that you could make. Jenny Craig, all those quick fix diets, and then you have the paleo diet, and then you have the keto diet, and you have the this diet and the that diet, and then everybody is claiming these fake trainers and these fake people that are coming out, gurus are coming out and saying, well, this is the one to go on, And what they do to the consumer is they create this, I call it SOS, shiny object syndrome. Then all of a sudden you're like a consumer. You're like, okay, you start this, and then you're starting to get bored, and then you start looking for a shiny object, and then you have a guy like V-Shreds who comes out and says, oh, body typing. Here's the way you need to eat and train based on your body. Well, that's body bullshitting is what that is. Body type bullshitting, because it's just a trend. And if you know anything about trends, you know that trends come and they go. I mean, Einstein was right. Real knowledge is through experience, and that is so freaking true, because I've seen some of this stuff that's coming through now. It's trendy stuff, shiny object syndrome. So the advantage that I have now, being at this stage, and this is the reason why, this is where I need to be right now in my career. I don't need to be in the gym anymore, showing people how to train and flexing, even though I do that secretly when nobody's watching. But that's not where I need to be anymore. I'm trying to think, okay, where am I most effective in the industry now? It's not showing me doing the workouts, but it's sharing all this knowledge that's really valuable. My dad, he used to tell me, you can't replace firsthand experience, and I used to blow that shit off. Like, yeah, whatever, yeah. And he was right, he was so right. Because again, there's some common truths about life, there's a common truths about the way your body works, in that when you've been around so long like I have, and you've paid attention and you've become a student of the game, you've seen things. And then what's really important for me, that I'm really bent on to the point that it almost makes me ill, is, as when I was training for bodybuilding, it was about, okay, not just to put on muscle or create a certain look, but it was, how did I do that? Because I wanted to be able to recreate that at will. That was the goal. That's a hard goal to achieve. It almost makes you crazy, you know, because most people don't do that. They get a response. It doesn't matter if it's training or just anything that you're doing. Being a better camera person. If you're creating something, something that's signature to you, well, how do you recreate that? How do you reproduce that? It's so different, and that's just kind of where I'm at right now. You know, so I'm sharing knowledge out there. How I'm trying to set myself apart is to get out this information that really is more about not the trend of it, but the stuff that really works and the stuff that's always going to work. That's the secret, is finding out in those three components, because it always comes down to the components, knowing everything to the nth degree. Well, you know, to learn that to the nth degree, you just can't do that shit in a seminar or, you know, as a consumer, watch a social media god that's in the industry at the moment. You know, you can't learn it like that, no matter what. It takes time and energy. So when you're a trainer doing this stuff, that's why most of them are liars. Most of them are fakers, you know, because they're not taking that extra step. I mentioned this before. A fake trainer and a fake client. I talked about a fake client. These are clients that come to you. They come to me over the years, and they tell you that they want to get in this great shape and they have all these goals for themselves, okay? So then I start working with that client, or the trainer starts working with that client. That client's when they first started, they're like, got fire in their ass, and they just want to do all this stuff. Well, and about, you know, when the honeymoon wears off, after about a month and a half or so, then it starts becoming more the meat and the work of the thing. Okay, that's when you start separating the fake trainer and the fake client. Because if a fake trainer is a real trainer, the real trainer takes extra steps to learn about these three components, so they can then they're able to teach that person. And it's one thing to know information, but to know information and to teach the information to make that person effective, okay, that takes time to learn how to do that. Okay, that's a real trainer. Same way with a real client. They have to be willing to keep taking the next steps in that training that they're in towards their goal to reach that goal. And yet, because our society is built on fast results, again, it goes back to breeding that shiny object to them. They get bored really fast, and then they fall off. I call those fake clients. So a fake trainer who's not willing to continue to understand those training components and then apply them and always try to get better with that client to make them more efficient, okay, is just like a fake client who is starting a program with fire in their ass, but then after about 2 months, when the honeymoon wears off, all of a sudden they start falling off and using excuses and looking for something new. Fake trainers and fake clients are the same people. They're one and the same, because they're both not willing to take the next step to get better. Yeah. End of story. Drives me crazy. You know, anyway, the point I was making is that once you can learn how to reproduce results at will, man, you're in control. You have command. You know, and that's powerful. I think personally people feel that. I don't care what industry or business it's in. When somebody knows their product, I mean, I have a mechanic. You know, I took my car to him. I told him what symptoms of it, and he just said, you know, here's what it is. And he was right. I mean, I could tell he was right. He's a master. He's an expert in his. That's a real mechanic instead of a fake mechanic. Yeah. You know, yeah. It's different for me, but it's hard because, you know, it can make you crazy when you're trying to. That's called trying to reach perfection, and that's always a very hard thing to attain. But, you know, I choose to do that because otherwise I just don't feel like I really understand what's going on. You know, and there's you know, you try to create a scenario where you control things as much as you possibly can, and yet at the same time some things are out of control. You just can't, you know, but you can get it to a spot where, you know, most of the time you can create something that you're trying to achieve. I mean, that's just the way I've looked at this ever since. And bodybuilding is the reason that I think like this now. Bodybuilding, that's sport. I mean, I was involved in sports all my life, football and all that. But this sport, bodybuilding, it's demanding as hell, and it forces you to create this mindset that, you know, your mindset as a bodybuilder it can be dangerous. It was for me. But, you know, here's the crazy thing, is that in order to achieve those kinds of results, you have to be, it's hard to be balanced. You got to be a little crazy. You got to have a mindset that, there have been a couple times where, at my gym, I ended up in the back of my truck passed out because I had adrenal burnout, But here's the thing, not only was I concerned about getting that workout in, I was getting ready for a show. Getting ready for a show, it bumps the craziness up to even a different level. Because I was going to compete in that damn show no matter what. And I had adrenal burnout. I had one of my clients found me in the back of my truck, out. My sugar was basically gone. I had adrenal burnout. But it's like, the EMTs come out there and they said, sir, they had to give me a bag of sugar because I was that low. They said, we should probably take you into the hospital. I said, no, just hook me up and then you guys leave. I go back in there and train. It's stupid in a way.
Yeah.
But that you get so locked in a mindset like that, that's how powerful the mind is. Your thought is the most powerful thing in the world. It's just whether or not you can harness that shit, because you can either use it for good or you can end up almost killing yourself like I did a couple of times in the sport. That's not uncommon in the sport. I know I've been around these guys too much. That's just the way it is. There's always trade-offs. I had some health issues down the road, and I'm not going to say that it had, all to do with the sport of bodybuilding or anything that I was doing along with that, because the sport is built on extreme behavior. That's just it in a nutshell, But it's just there's trade-offs, and we know that when we go in and do this stuff. We calculate. We're kind of thinking, okay, is it really worth the trade-off if this happens? I'm going to say yes. And I know that's some people might look at me and say, you really are stupid. But that's just my level of commitment to this whole thing that I'm doing, whether it be the sport that I was in, bodybuilding, and now this. I'm very passionate about this stuff. And, I'm bagging these guys, these fake trainers out there. But, at the same time, I would love to have these guys come and learn about this stuff. I just want to create an environment out there that it's like, listen, I'm going to expose you, and how you doing? And I expose my own trainer, my own gym.
Yeah.
The other day, I did this live feed, and I see things in my gym, and I will tell you, my gym, my trainer is actually one of the better ones compared to what's going on out there. But I'm not opposed to calling myself out, my own gym, and my trainer. Again, my passion now is it's about cleaning the market up so the consumer ends up benefiting from this. So, I could see me going to a gym owner, like this gym back over here. They've got trainers that are working inside. I can go into a gym in 3 minutes and watch your trainers work, and I can tell you what they're doing right and wrong. And most of them are doing shit wrong. I can tell you that. But I can tell you, I would think that might be a valuable tool for you as an owner. If it's going to improve your business in there because your trainers are doing a better job, but I can do that in 3 or 4 minutes. I sit on my bike at my own gym, just pedaling, and I can pick out stuff that people are doing. I think it might be a good, it could be like a good, a good show or at least a good service to take to an owner and say, look, I can help clean your trainers up and make them better trainers. That's the bottom line. I don't see anything wrong with that. But if I have to get a response by coming out here and saying you're fake trainers and most of you are doing this wrong, which they are, if I have to be that strong about it to get a debate going, if the end result is that we have better trainers in the industry, I don't see a downside. If you want more information about this, click on that link below and go to my website. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below.